Hi, my name is Scott Jordan. I'm the CEO and co-founder of SCOTTeVEST and technology-enabled clothing. And I wanted to say a few words about my appearance on Shark Tank this past Friday, March 2nd. And I thought this would be a good forum to do so. On Friday, March 2nd, I appeared on ABC's reality show, Shark Tank. The premise of the show is as follows. An entrepreneur enters the tank with an idea and an offer. He or she pitches the product or business, and the sharks decide whether or not they want to invest. The two parties either reach an agreement or the entrepreneurs leave with nothing but some good exposure and a memorable experience. Since the show aired on Friday, I have received overwhelming feedback from all over the board. The criticisms of those who took issue with my appearance fall in a few distinct categories. There are those who feel that I used the platform merely for PR purposes, that I was never interested in a deal, but rather that I took advantage of the exposure. I am also receiving criticism in regard to my demeanor, that I was disrespectful, aggressive, and less than cordial in my interactions with the sharks, although usually expressed in more colorful terms than that. My response is as follows. I entered the tank in the hopes of gaining a strategic business partner who would help me establish my licensing company, TEC, Technology Enabled Clothing, in a way that I have yet been unable to do on my own. The exposure inherent in an appearance on national TV is something no entrepreneur would ignore. It was only after it became apparent that none of the sharks were interested in making a deal for tech that I decided to focus on the PR value of the experience. In other words, the performance. I could not share the results of the filming with anyone. However, I knew that although I did not get a deal with one of the sharks, there would be an opportunity to expose the world and tech, and the world to tech and to SCOTTeVEST, and I was not about to let that opportunity slip by. My friends and family who know me well know that I am completely transparent. I cannot lie. I cannot act. I pitched a product I believed in and reacted honestly in the heated debate that ensued. That said, I feel that the segment the public saw on Friday needs some context. It needs to be explained. There's a lot to be said about how the 60 minutes that I was in the tank was edited down to around 20. ABC, in the end, is trying to make good TV, and no one can blame them for doing that job well. Granted, that is not the whole story. And to blame editing entirely would be a cop-out, and that's not my style. I really did call Robert's initial offer insane, and I did tell Robert and Kevin that they were out. I argued fiercely with Mark Cuban about intellectual property rights. He later indicated in a podcast that he made it his mission to make me cry. About standing by my patent and the essential Americanness of the patent system. After all, it is a right that was included in the Constitution. But let's put this into perspective. How many times have you seen entrepreneurs, people who are really starting out, who have a great idea and need guidance and money, flounder in the tank, get taken advantage of? The difference between my segment and most is that I am a businessman and that I am willing and able to engage the sharks in a serious business interaction. I think that surprised them. I most definitely wanted to strike a deal with one or more of them to get tech off the ground as a true licensing company with much more to offer than a single patent for wire management system. I was not about to turn wobbly-kneed and forget why I was there and sell away part of the company that my wife and I have put our hearts and souls in for over 10 years. Every time I watch the episode, which is not as many times as some people would like to believe, I see something. I remember what happened to induce a reaction, or I think about what one of the sharks said to set me off. I see the moments in which I appear arrogant, and knowing myself, I really was cornered. I see myself as what I really was, and that is cornered. I mean, imagine yourself with 5, venture capitalists coming at you. I had to defend my patent in every way I could, and my business. A good friend of mine wrote me after he watched the show, quote, "You come across as a guy who just loves his company and his product," end quote. I am a guy who loves his company and his product. And in those moments, I was a guy who saw that my company that I've worked so hard for threatened. Those sharks are persuasive personalities, and they are powerful people. From a businessman's perspective, these are people who we look up to. The pressures add up, and the intimidation factor, the thrill of being in the company of the sharks. But as the sharks and the rest of America learned, I would not be bullied into taking a bad deal. So, to recap, I entered the tank with a deal that I thought was reasonable. The sharks wanted something else. What ensued was an aggressive negotiation among equals, and we ended up not making a deal. It's that simple. No one on the panel is involved with the future of TEC or SCOTTeVEST, but I am confident that the future of both are bright. I want to thank my friends and followers for their support via Twitter, Facebook, and blogging. SCOTTeVEST was built on transparency and through direct relationships with customers. I want to emphasize that this is not just TV at this point. The issues that arose during the filming about protecting the intellectual property, about the value of the licensing subsidiary, and about what it means to negotiate in a business are very serious to me. Expect these debates to continue. My name is Scott Jordan. I am the co-founder and CEO of SCOTTeVEST and Technology-Enabled Clothing. And I hope that my experience in the Shark Tank can be helpful to others. What I plan to do next, separately, is to review the entire show and give my commentary. Give some context as to what happened. I think you will be truly surprised about some of the things that I will reveal. I thank you for your support. I am out of here.